espresso chocolate mousse with a surprise. It's made of tofu. Now, before you click away, tofu, if you haven't tried it, it's got a lot of health benefits, and it actually doesn't really have much flavor. It takes on whatever ingredients you're putting with it. You can use it savory. It doesn't have to be cooked. It's very versatile. You can drain a lot of the liquid out of it and put seasoning on it and turn it into a stir fry instead of meat. There's a lot of things you can do, and I'm going to have more recipes using tofu because I actually love it. It's cheap, it goes a long way, and it's got some health benefits. So this one is even easier. You don't have to, I just simply rinsed it. You don't have to use there's a tofu press to try to get the liquid out. You don't have to do any of that. I do rinse it off. So this is a very simple recipe. It's only got a few ingredients. You're going to start with 1 cup of water. You're going to add whatever instant espresso or coffee you like. I'm using decaf because I don't want the extra caffeine. I snack on these all day. And so if it was just for the morning, I would just use regular. So I'm going to put about a tablespoon of the granular instant coffee. I'm going to put 2 tablespoons. This time I'm using Lilly's dark chocolate. It's sweetened with stevia extract. So it's a little bit better than regular chocolate. So I'm going to put 2 tablespoons of that. And I'm a big fan of cinnamon, so I'm going to put a little bit of cinnamon. And then you do need a little bit. You're going to have to experiment if you decide to make this. Experiment with how much sugar. Now, the good thing about this is once we heat this up and melt the chocolate, that's all we're doing is melting the chocolate. You don't really have to cook it. So I'm going to throw this in the microwave. Now, one thing to note, when you're melting chocolate, be very careful because chocolate has a tendency to burn very quickly in the microwave. So I already had 1/4 of a cup of sugar. Now, in this case, I am using monk fruit sugar. You can use regular sugar, just know it's going to add some extra calories. But you certainly could use this. You could use maple syrup. You could use honey, whatever sweetener you like to use with cooking or baking. So what you're going to do is, because the chocolate burns very easily, you're going to stir it. You're going to microwave it for about 40 seconds. And then you're going to stir it. You just want to get this melted, and the good thing is, because this is instant coffee, the water helps it dissolve. So then all you're going to do is take your blender. You're going to pour this in, and then put the whole, make sure that all the chocolate's out of there. And then you're going to put the whole chunk of rinsed tofu, 1 package, about this size. And then you're going to blend it up to where it's smooth, and then it turns into the most beautiful mousse. You can put whipped cream on it. You could put cinnamon. Here I chopped up some fruit, turned it into a dessert. You could put berries on it, whatever you like. But it's a very beautiful, tasty dessert dish, breakfast. I put it in the fridge, and my husband, he loves them. He doesn't even realize that it's tofu. He probably wouldn't eat it if it's tofu. Maybe he would, I'm not sure. But give it a try. Don't, a long time ago, if someone would have asked me, oh, do you like tofu? I would have said, are you crazy? But I don't know, I saw some dishes that had it in it, and I decided to give it a try. And it's one of the best things that I ever did. It's kind of a go-to for stir fries, kind of a go-to for Meatless Mondays, if you participate in that, where you try to cut down on how much meat you're eating. Give it a try. Experiment with the sweetener. The base, is going to be about the same, how much chocolate and how much coffee. But everything else, the water, also make sure you're using a cup. But the sweetener, play around with that, have some fun. Let me know if you try it. Let me know any of your other ideas for tofu. I would be glad to hear what else you're cooking with that. So I will see you at lunch. Episode, I am making cheeseburgers. but not your normal, average, run-of-the-mill cheeseburgers. I am making stuffed portobello, topped portobello, mushrooms with cheeseburger. Now, it's not gonna have a bun, but what I've done here was I've taken just your average run-of-the-mill portobellos and I rinse them underwater. People say you shouldn't clean them, but I at least rinse them. So these were the biggest ones I could find. What you want to do is just rinse them, and then I laid them this side down, kind of where there's the ribbing. I laid that down and I cooked them at 375 degrees for about 10 minutes, just to kind of get them softer. So while they were cooking, I made the cheeseburger mixture. Let me show you what that looks like. So what this is, 1 pound of lean ground turkey. You could use ground chicken or ground turkey. You want to brown it, get any of the, this was 99% fat-free, so there wasn't really any fat that I could see. And then you want to put 1/4 of a cup of Worcestershire. I'm not sure how you say that, but this is what gives it kind of that hamburger / meatloaf taste. And then I put a cup of onions, browned those up. I put 2 garlic cloves. You want to give this some flavor. The turkey by nature just is kind of bland. So you want to turn this into like think of what how you would make a really juicy, nice cheeseburger. So after this completely cooked and after the mushrooms were in for 10 minutes, what I'm going to do now is actually top all the mushrooms with this meat mixture. And it should make anywhere from 6 to 8 mushrooms. And then I have thin sliced, you can use any cheese that you like. I am using Colby. What I'm going to do is lay a piece of cheese over each one of the mushrooms after they have the meat mixture on there. And then I'm going to roast it for about another 5 to 10 minutes till the cheese is melted. And then when you come back, I'll show you how I'm going to top it. This is the finished product. This is the stuffed portobello cheeseburger. But how we're going to finish this up, we've just melted the cheese and the meat mixture over the portobello. So now, to make it like a cheeseburger, I'm going to douse it with a little bit of sliced bread and butter pickle. And then to make it look artistic and to make it taste like a cheeseburger, I'm going to drizzle some, whatever your favorite mustard is. I'm just using classic mustard. I'm going to kind of make it look fancy. And then I'm going to put some ketchup. Same thing, kind of drizzle it. And here is our cheeseburger portobello mushroom. Something with seafood today, but this is not traditional. This is going to be shrimp and grits, but it's not going to be traditional. Please don't write to me if you live in the South and tell me that this isn't the right way to do shrimp and grits. I'm making them more healthy. I put my little spin on it. So the first thing I want to tell you, we're starting with, I already have them started on the stove. So I started with 1 pound of shrimp, 1 can of fire roasted tomatoes. I have some bay leaves in here. Put about a tablespoon of cumin, tablespoon of paprika, and just whatever seasoning you think might go well with shrimp. But you just cook it to where it gets done. The tomatoes generally that you buy in the can are stewed. And then make sure after you're done cooking this that you take the bay leaves out. People don't need to eat the bay leaves. So I've already finished this. Now shrimp will have a tendency to overcook. So you want to just, as soon as it turns white, from where it's kind of a grayish color, you're done cooking. So this is already done. And then over here I have the grits. Now this is regular polenta, it's dried. You want to keep stirring it too and make sure it's not on too high heat because it will burn easily. You want to use double the amount of liquid. Now I used equal parts of a salt-free vegetable stock or broth and water. And you want to keep stirring it, and that's all. I know traditional grits have butter in them. No, we're not putting butter in. So, but what we are going to put to help cream them up, now they've been cooking for just a few minutes on low to medium heat, and now I'm going to put about 1/4 of a cup of Parmesan cheese, and then you're going to turn it off the heat. Because this is hot, all you're going to do is stir this in, and it's going to melt and turn really creamy. And then what you'll do is you'll plate this, you'll plate a little bit of the grits, and then you're going to top it with the spicy shrimp mixture. And I will show you a picture of the finished product. Thank you for watching my channel. I hope that you've been inspired to make your own recipes, your own dishes, or try some of mine. Please continue to watch my videos if you are finding them interesting. And I hope that you're inspired to change them up a little bit, make them your own. Check out my website as well. I also post the recipes as a blog, but I always list the recipes down under the description for the video. Thank you, and have a great week.